Have you ever walked into a moldy house? The smell is dense, stuffy, almost invisible. But it's there. The wall has lost its color. The light seems not to get through the windows. The furniture is covered in a sticky dust that isn't visible to the eye. But it feels heavy. And the strangest thing is this: someone lives there. Someone sleeps on that damp mattress. Someone drinks coffee in that lifeless kitchen. And worse, someone has gotten used to it. Maybe you've never physically lived in a house like that. But what about on the inside? How many of us are living inside a moldy house? A life that's stuffy, dragged out, uncomfortable, but still sustained. You know that relationship that you already know is over, but you're still in it? That debt you don't face, you just push it away? That silent dissatisfaction with your job, your body, your path, that you pretend not to see? All of that is mold. Emotional mold, spiritual mold, existential mold. And the most dangerous part isn't the mold itself. It's the normalization of it. It's when you start to say, "That's just how it is. Other people have it worse. It'll get better someday." But it doesn't get better, because mold doesn't dry up on its own. It spreads silently. It takes over the corners, climbs through the cracks, and covers up the details that once charmed you. And when you finally realize it, you no longer recognize your own life. This is the moldy soul. The soul that has stopped ventilating. It has stopped opening the windows of feeling, of change, of presence. And if you're living like this, know this: it's not destiny, it's the result of a non-choice. It's the price of not opening the windows of courage. Often, mold takes root in life when we get used to discomfort, when we prefer the uncomfortable familiar to the transformative unknown, when we stop listening to ourselves and start just surviving. You survive the routine. You survive the lukewarm relationship. You survive the fear of the bills. You survive the lack of courage. And time keeps passing, and the soul keeps gathering dust. It's as if you're inside yourself, but with the windows closed for years. The air doesn't circulate. The light doesn't get in. The new has no space. And the most tragic thing is, you start to believe that's what living is. But living isn't just enduring. Living is flowing. It's sweating out emotion. It's changing the air of your soul. It's doing an energetic deep clean. It's having the courage to open the windows, even when the weather outside seems uncertain. You know that difficult conversation you avoid? That decision that's always postponed? That change you feel you need, but haven't made yet? All of that is mold. And as long as you don't clean it, you'll breathe stale air. You'll relate to old patterns. You'll repeat the same mistakes, with different faces. Because mold doesn't just make you sick. It conditions you. You start to choose partners who match your moldy house. Jobs that sustain this stuffy atmosphere. Thoughts that justify this lack of air. And life becomes a silent loop of stagnation. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate." The mold is the denied unconscious. It's everything you don't want to look at, but it's still there, growing. No matter how much you ignore it, it keeps acting. The good news? Mold isn't a sentence. It's just a lack of internal ventilation. And that you can change. But it requires courage. Courage to open the windows. Courage to see the truth. Courage to let the sun in, even if it illuminates the mess. Because an illuminated mess is much more honest than controlled darkness. True spirituality isn't about living in a bubble of light. It's about having the courage to see the dark and still lighting the candle. It's about looking at your life with love, but without self-deception. It's about realizing where you're betraying yourself in the name of false stability. Yes, because many people are living poorly just to maintain the appearance of being well. The house is crumbling on the inside, but on the outside, in the Instagram photo, everything is tidy. And then comes the emptiness, the unnamed exhaustion, the irritation with everything, the desire to run away, the lack of meaning. All of this is your soul saying, "Get me out of here. I wasn't made to live in a place without light." And this place isn't a house made of bricks. It's the way you are inhabiting your existence. Osho said, "People are not lazy. They simply don't have what inspires them." When life loses color, when the house loses light, when the soul loses air, it's not laziness. It's the absence of a real purpose. It's an excess of distraction. It's a lack of listening. And listening, in this case, is stopping. It's asking yourself, where is it getting moldy inside me? Which part of my life is breathing old air? What in me is asking for cleansing, renewal, openness? And no, you don't have to change everything all at once. You just have to open the first window. Maybe that window is an honest conversation with yourself. Maybe it's the courage to end something you already know no longer serves you, or to start something your soul has been asking for a long time. You can start by cleaning one room of the house, organizing one part of your life, re-examining what you've been tolerating in the name of stability, because stability that requires self-abandonment is a prison, and nobody flourishes where they can't breathe. Your soul is asking for air. It's asking for light. It's asking for space. And it doesn't matter how many incense sticks you burn. If you don't open the windows, the air will remain heavy. Spirituality doesn't replace movement. It enhances it. But first, you have to want to open up. There's no point in wanting a miracle in a closed house. Healing requires circulation, and circulation requires action. You can indeed make this inner house a temple, but you will need to clean the corners, get rid of the excess, open the cracks, and let the truth in. Yes, the truth, because many times that's what we're trying to avoid. The truth that that relationship is over. The truth that that debt only gets bigger because you don't face it. The truth that that job drains you, but you're afraid to leave. The truth that you are surviving, but not living. And it's okay to feel afraid. Fear is natural, but staying out of fear is a choice. The moldy house isn't a punishment. It's a consequence. But the opposite is also true. An airy, clean living house is also a consequence of presence, of truth, of courage, and every change begins with a simple gesture, opening the window, allowing a little more of yourself to come in. Yes, you, because perhaps the greatest mold is the absence of yourself. You got lost. You kept adapting. You kept silencing yourself. You kept forgetting yourself. But it's all there. Under the dust, there is a soul. Under the mold, there is light. Under the exhaustion, there is strength. And that strength doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come from courses or gurus. It comes from the air that starts to circulate when you stop running from your truth. You weren't born to live in a moldy house. You were born to breathe, to expand, to open windows, and if it's necessary to tear down walls, let what imprisons you fall, Because your soul doesn't fit within four locked walls. It is made of wind, of sun, of movement. Today, maybe it's the day to open the first window. Even if dust gets in, even if a strong wind comes in, even if it messes everything up. The mess is part of the healing. Life is made of moving air. And so are you. Today, before you sleep, close your eyes gently. Visualize your inner house. See its rooms. Smell the scent. Notice the light, or the absence of it. And then, imagine yourself opening the first window. See the air coming in, the light touching the corners, the mold beginning to dissolve. And say to yourself, I choose to open up. I choose to breathe. I choose to live with soul and truth. If this video was a window for something inside you, don't close it. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that illuminates and ventilates the spirit. Share in the comments. Which room in your life needs air? Your words might inspire someone else to open their own window, too. And if you want to stay in this vibe, watch the next video suggested on the card. Maybe it's exactly what you need to continue the cleaning. Peace and light.